fucking venue is. I don't care if it's Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, or Teletype. If there's somebody there, I'm going to be where they are. Guys, Bay, Nerdchuck is in the building. What's up, man?
Life is good, man. Thanks for having me. You know how pumped I am I'm doing the show.
My man Taz Daddy!
Yes, sir. I can make millions for other people. I can make millions for
Year in, year out, he not a rookie. He a man of many hats and different skills. Give him any struggle in business and watch he make it build. Hard to believe, and please check the resume. Best-selling author and showcase on Ebony. 2-time Southern Entertainment Award winner.
Well, you know, it's a very, very, very beautiful situation when things come together the way that they are supposed to. Hold on, let me make sure I get on Instagram. Now, I'm gonna address that in a minute too. Let's see here. Hold on. How's everybody doing? Hope you're well. Let me know where you at. Let me know where you're checking in from. It is yours truly, the Mohawk and Real Talk and Living Fully Business Bully Dave Anderson out here doing what I do. Oh yes, snapping necks, cashing checks. Woo! Today is a beautiful day. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Thanks for being here. What up, Catrice Clark saying? Can't wait to hear this one. Kuwait. Sherman, you in Kuwait? Whoa, what's happening? Listen, see some people out here doing their thing. All right, Memphis is in the building. Let's see here, and I'm reading this like I can see without these things. All right, let's see here. Somebody here from Vietnam. What up, Sandra Smith? Good morning from Georgia. Oh man, New York. What up? What up? So, want to have a couple of quick conversations before we get to the big story on Action News tonight. Shout out to Sippy Gang Royalty 1490, all the way from Compton. What's happening? New to you from Kentucky. Well, welcome aboard, Kentucky. Glad you here to get some of this Mohawk action. So excited. Somebody says, no, black people's been rocking with these folks. In fact, watch California in the establishment. What up? A lot of North Carolina showing up. Shout out to my North Carolina people. Y'all know I love you. I need somebody to send me some BC powder, some Bojangles. Go ahead and put that whole pig on. I want a pig picking. But here's the thing. In case you have not known, the Business Bully Instagram has been disabled. We don't know why. We tried to create a new one called Goat Herder. They disabled that one. We don't know why. So, my team and I have been fighting to get that back, but we're still moving. If you want to find me, it is not hard. You can find me on Fanbase. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on businessbullyshow.com. You can find me on businessbully.tv. I am here and I ain't going nowhere, right? So it's funny when you start speaking truth to power and you start moving in a certain positive direction and taking people out of their comfort zone, and all of a sudden, things start happening. Had a conversation with my good brother Reza Islam, and he said, "Oh, they disabled your Instagram account." I said, "Yeah, brother Reza, they sure did." He said, "Congratulations, you've graduated, my brother." And shout out to Reza Islam, man. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan shouted him out on Savior's Day. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, man, I'm real interested in seeing how everybody's feeling out there. And also, I'm gonna tell you, they think when it comes to your support of me, that it's dependent upon whether or not you follow me on Instagram. And I'm here to show y'all and to show them. I need you to show them that you support me regardless of where I am, because I can't do this without you. And it is what it is. You already know it is hard bringing these things to pass and bringing these things to bear when folks are trying to limit your voice, which is why I've always been a huge advocate of having your own platform, having your way to get to people. I got Business Bully TV. They can shut all this stuff down. I'm still good, right? But if you do support me and you do rock with me, then I'm going to need you to do just a couple of things, right? You can always, support the movement. Let me see if I can pull this up because I want you guys to have this because they're going to continue to try to play this game, and I need y'all to know that we're not playing this game today. Hold on, let me make sure I put up what I need to put up here. Yeah, no, we're going to do that, right? And then we're going to edit this. Oh, we're editing today, people. Oh no, I know what we're going to do. This is beautiful. So we're going to have a ticker. Oh yeah, no, we're going to do this in real time because I want to make sure y'all get all of this, right? I'm going to put this in the ticker right now, and we're going to have a conversation about Jim Crow Joe because, well, why not? All right. Yeah, hold on. Let me edit this. Get that right. Yeah, there we go. Boom. What's happening with you? All right. See some comments here. Let's get it popping. Annie says, I support Dave. I appreciate you, Annie. Thank you so much. Aaron says, we got you, bro. Yeah, bro. What's up with them videos, bro? Yeah, Biden did. The black church is brought in the hype. The black church always buys into the hype. The black church makes $33 million every single Sunday in tithes and offerings from black people, but yet and still, most highly dense black populated areas look like absolute crap. Truth must be known that God will, our great awakening. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it becomes a whole thing. Let me see what this says here. Yes, he did. I know a lot of black people would be worried about their damn feelings about Trump ass kissing Biden after that clown said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Help locked up more black men than a little bit. But they're there to kiss Biden's ass. Yep, you said it. I didn't. Here's the gag, right? And this is where I have always had an issue with this mentality of we gotta vote Democrat, right? And when I say we, I mean black people. So anybody else who's here, thanks so much for the love and support. But I'm speaking specifically to black people, at least 90% of black people, right? My whole thing is I am neither a Democrat or a Republican. I am pro Dave and what's best for Dave and Dave's family, right? And I feel like you should be pro Brandy or pro Aaron or pro Felicia or pro Brian or pro Annie, and what's best for Brian, Alicia, Felicia, Aaron, Annie's family and best interest. What happens is we get caught up into this group think that nobody else does, right? And it's just like, if it's like if I shoot you and then give you a band-aid, am I your friend? Or if I shoot you and don't give you a band-aid, am I your friend? My whole thing is at some point you have to realize that America is a transactional corporation. It is not a country. And when you understand that America is a transactional corporation, you will do everything you possibly can to leverage what's happening with this transactional corporation, right? And so we as black people, generally speaking, and please don't tell me not all, and I don't, because that's not what I'm talking about here. We as black people tend to run everything and filter everything through our emotions. As a result, we tend to lose a certain level of objectivity. When we lose that objectivity, what winds up happening is people can take advantage of our weak, fragile emotional state. And when you run your business decisions, and make no mistake, your political power is a business decision. When you run your business decisions through your emotions, that's a problem, right? So we got to be careful of that. Return Eagle says, you're right, my brother. I know that's right. Tony Mayfield says, 100. Tulip, I see you. Nationality, Dave. Listen, I'm here for it. I never support him or Obama. They're trying to indoctrinate our babies. They've all been trying to. Everybody's been. Your babies are already. If your babies are in the system, and by in the system, I'm not talking about prison. I'm talking about school. They're already indoctrinating your babies, right? We got to get past that. People are programmed and refuse to think outside the box. My whole thing is I don't even believe in the box. Right? I don't think outside of the box. I never stepped in the box because if you're thinking outside of the box, then that means that you're literally in prison, right? Because prisoners will say, "Well, my mind is free. They just have my body." No, they got your body and your mind because you're in the system, right? So my whole thing is I'm never in the box, right? I live, breathe, think, operate, move, regardless of whose box y'all trying to put me in. And that's the problem. Deshaun says, yes, sir. Bobby says, since America is no longer a corporation, what about preparation? I think you're trying to say, what about reparations? Oh, they're never going to give you that. Because here's why we won't get reparations. And make no mistake, America is still a corporation. Here's why black people won't get reparations. The first reason black people won't get reparations is because they're not afraid of you. The second reason black people won't get reparations is because you have not demanded it. You've asked. You've let people like Ta-Nehisi Coates and Danny Glover speak before Congress about a bill to have a conversation about if they should have an exploratory committee about having reparations. How does that make any sense? Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary individuals, I submit to you that black people built this country. And please don't get it twisted. It's not 250 years. It's well over 400 years of free African labor. Now, some would argue that it wasn't completely free because people had to buy the slaves. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But now we're splitting hairs here. Okay. Got to hydrate. And I know y'all are hydrating too because you're thirsty for the truth. And the thing of it is, America became a superpower because of 450 years of free African labor, right? So, I mean, if you're just doing the math, 1619, 1719, 1819, 1919, 2019, because they're still getting free African labor. Look at the prison system. Why is there a school to prison pipeline? How does that happen when the majority of people who get locked up are black men, heterosexual black men? And also on top of that, right, they base how many private prisons they are going to build on third grade black male test scores for reading comprehension. What does that tell you? That's still free African labor. But y'all not ready for that conversation because y'all don't want to have a conversation about growth, responsibility, and accountability, right? The other thing as to why you won't get reparations is because the only thing that these people respect and have respected historically is the loss of revenue, meaning money, or the loss of blood, meaning life. And keep in mind when I say this, I'm saying this from a specific scientific perspective. What I admire about them people on January 6th was they was like, yo, we're gonna go tear some shit up. And they did it. Now the gag is they did it in front of cops and cops didn't kill them. That's the gag. You see what I'm saying? So we aren't willing to do that. Like, you know, a couple generations ago, you had the Panthers. Hang tight, y'all. Real quick, I'm coming right back. I'm going to do a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to dive into why this stuff isn't happening the way that it needs to. we're back. Always good to be back. Always good to give you this work. Hope y'all enjoyed that commercial break. I know I did. Reparations will bankrupt the country. No reparations. People need to get a job and work. Okay. So two things about that. One, that's complete and utter bullshit. Right? Joe Biden just authorized $10 billion to Ukraine support. $10 billion. Somehow that didn't bankrupt the country. It's absolutely ridiculous. They have no problem when Notre Dame started to burn. They had no problem sending money. They continue to make money all of the time. Reparations didn't bankrupt America when they gave it to Japanese Americans who were put in internment camps in World War II. Why are we still on this? Oh, it'll bankrupt the country. No. Here's what we need to do. See, reparations can take many forms, right? One of the main things that needs to happen, right? Regardless as if you black, white, red, or green, right? Everybody has been pitched this idea that you have to go to college, and the majority of y'all are not college material. Like, just keep it a buck. Well, you're not college material, but you're doing it because that's the marketing they fed you through your parents and your grandparents. Education is freedom. Education leads to freedom. Yeah, but if 73% of people who are quote unquote educated from a college level aren't even working in the thing that they majored in, is college an abject failure? Well, if only 27% have made it, then yeah. But riddle me this. Why is it that at 17, 18, 19 years old, you can get a student loan debt in the amount of 10, 20, 50, 100, $300,000, but you can't get a micro loan from a major bank for a business at 17, 18, 19, years of age? Like, y'all need to stop with that, right? Y'all got to stop talking about how it's going to hurt the country when it doesn't hurt the country. And you know what? Everybody else has no problem getting reparations. But if we wiped out the student loan debt completely, which I do believe that was something that Biden said that he was going to do or look at, but he's real tricky, so you got to watch him, right? And we're going to get to that in a second as well, right? Y'all continue to believe these lies. Oh, we got to get a job. Black people have been working for 400 plus years. We continue to work. Black people want to work. A lot of black people have been indoctrinated with this: go to school, get a job to pay off school. Ooh, let's get a $15 an hour minimum wage, like that's going to fix the problem. And everybody knows that the second they make that minimum wage $15 an hour, then the cost of a gallon of milk is going to go to $9. Because business will always innovate at 10x the level of what's happening in society. But y'all not ready for that conversation either. Like y'all got to start looking at things differently. You got to open up that third eye. Try and return to wake up these people from the lies that y'all believe. And so thinking reparations, here comes the 1/8 blacks and I identify as blacks. Actual black people wouldn't get dick. Well, that's why you put certain things in. But see, the problem is when you're always on some Oliver Twist, please, sir, might I have more? You don't get to dictate the terms. That is the problem, right? So if you say that you have to be at least 51% black according to your DNA, and that blackness has to have definitive foundational black American roots, and that can be decided for something as simple going back to the 1860 census, then you're good money. It's not that hard. Like we're overcomplicating things by finding ways that it wouldn't work instead of finding ways that will, which is a problem with black people generally speaking. And if I'm lying, look at our communities. The majority of our communities are hot trash truck juice. Because we always talk about why we can't do something and we never start to do things, right? It's the difference between somebody like King Randall, who is 22 years old, versus somebody like Umar Johnson, who's, if he's not 50, he damn sure is. King Randall started a school with a bunch of scraps. Umar Johnson talking about he need help with the HVAC, and now he's trying to get people to run for Congress. And I'm like, yo, bro, where's the school? I've yet to see your staff. I've yet to see your business plan. It's that type of mentality. Oh, it's so hard. Like you got all these doctorates though. A kid younger than my oldest daughter went out here and started a school for black boys, which is what you've been saying you've been trying to do since 2009. Like this is what I be talking about. Y'all continue to tell me why we can't do something. Yeah, they just gave money to the Japanese. There was no committee. There was no televised thing on C-SPAN 3 or ESPN 8, the Ocho. It was just boom. Here's your money. We messed up. Do you realize that in this yet to be United States of America, it is still not considered a hate crime to lynch somebody? But they sure enough made hate crime bills for Stop Asian Hate. The math ain't math. The math ain't mathing at all. But when we try to have this conversation with y'all start telling me, oh, well, and what about the government? The government wasn't thinking about you when they were using your great-great-grandmammy to build the White House. The government wasn't thinking about you when they was using your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpapa to till their tobacco. Oh, okay. Oh, y'all gonna catch it today. Because of status, Dave, we don't get a dime. We have to go way back. Most of our people don't know that the treaties are authentic, different show for this one. Yeah, we can get into the whole nationality debate. Listen, we have called ourselves black, we have called ourselves African American, we have called ourselves Moorish American. It's always something, and at the end of the day, you know what? The Taliban ain't a race, but the Taliban got money from the U.S. government. Stop giving me these straw man bullshit excuses as to why it can't be done and start focusing on the fact that y'all continue to fall for the sucker shit. That's all I want you to do. I just want you to focus on the fact that you fall for the sucker shit. A white woman was killed by a cop on January 6th, but it doesn't make people emotional, so they don't play it on the news. Susan, great. One white woman died. Does that compare to the, 30 million people who died in the middle patches? Does that compare to the hundreds of black people who get lynched systematically? Does that compare to the number of black people who, if you did it proportionally, because white people like to talk about how, more white people get killed by cops than black people. Yeah, because they're 60% of the country. Like, stop. Mathematically speaking, we're like 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5 of us gets killed unjustly by cops in this country. And my math could be a little bit off on that, but not by much. We get it, right? I'm not here for BLM. I'm not here for Antifa. I can't stand none of that. And that's a myth as well. First of all, the Black Lives Matter organization is horseshit, and I've said that, right? Antifa, who gives a fuck, right? But it's not your own neighborhood if you don't fucking own it. So that whole that is a Fox News bullshit rhetoric point about, oh, well, black people are tearing up their own neighborhoods. No, the fuck we aren't. That is bullshit. And I'm so tired of people saying that, because that is not true. In order to tear up your own shit, you have to actually own shit. But what tends to happen, and this is the thing that white people, whether they're well-meaning or racist pieces of trash, will say is, oh, well, they tear up their own they'll tear up their own communities. But here's what you're not saying. Black people have to jump through more hoops than a dog show to get a business in predominantly black occupied neighborhoods. Yet and still, white people can, Asians can, Ethiopians can, all these other people have absolutely no problem getting businesses in our neighborhoods, right? That's why we love Chinese food so much, because it's right there, right? KFC has no problem building in a black neighborhood. McDonald's, no problem building in a black neighborhood. Dry cleaners, no problem. Parking lots, no problem. Everything in the black community not controlled by the black community. So did we tear up our own neighborhoods, or did we tear up the businesses that have been occupying our neighborhoods and not putting back in our neighborhoods? Let's call a spade, but you are not ready for that conversation either, because that conversation requires a certain amount of accountability and logic, because we like to have these little talking points that do not add up. And then we like to start spewing them out without putting any actual basis of fact in them. So please do me a favor and pipe down while the bully is speaking. Thank you. Did Joe and Kamala ever sit down with Ice Cube after saying they would sit down with him after the election? Nope. And they won't, because Ice Cube is coming with accountability, and they do not like accountability. They do not like it one bit. They like it less than the dude who was refusing green eggs and ham for 75% of the book. They don't want anybody with an agenda. That's why they'll talk to Cardi B. And that's no diss to Cardi B. I think Cardi B is extremely talented, but that's not somebody I would want representing me. And people say, well, Ice Cube's a gangster rapper. Ice Cube ain't been a gangster rapper in 25 years. Stop. Ice Cube is a businessman. Ice Cube built the big three without y'all. Ice Cube created jobs. Ice Cube created platforms for other people. They don't want to sit down with Ice Cube because Ice Cube is coming with logic and facts that they can't refute. And when somebody wants to hold people accountable who have been going for the past 70 years without accountability, come on. It ain't that hard to figure out. Since the 50s, Democrats specifically have been going unaccountable when it comes to the rights, the needs, and the desires of Black people, all while telling Black people that they have their best interests at heart. The other part of that is when it comes to the conservatives are saying, oh, pick yourself up by the bootstraps, but they're giving everybody else bootstraps, a shoe shine boy, a sneaker store. Like it becomes a bit laughable in that regard. And you keep in mind, I'm telling you straight up now as a 1%er, like these are the things we do not talk about. It costs America $16 trillion annually to uphold racism. I'm here for that. George Hobbs, good to see you, buddy. I still hate you, but good to see you. He says, comedian Patrice O'Neal once made a good point about reparations. Modern day reparations should be federal tax exemption. Absolutely. I've been saying that forever. And Patrice and I are very good friends, God rest his soul. Can't believe it's been 10 years since he's gone. But here's the thing. If Black people don't have any student loan debt, if Black people don't have to pay taxes, right? If Black people can automatically build businesses, if Black people get access to the things that we actually help build in this country, while other people in this country sat on their wraparound porches drinking high tea and mint julep, then yeah, it's on and popping. There's plenty of ways to see the word reparations is the act of repairing something that you broke. And the last thing America wants to do is admit on the world stage that it is guilty of war crimes going all the way back to 1619. Dirt simple. And that's what reparations would be. And that's another reason why you won't get it. True. Working in my field now. Congratulations, Brandy. You are one of the 27%. Right? Susan, under the 1871 31st Congress, whether you're white or Black, we have all been made indentured service to the Bank of England. We were born into debt through the birth certificate. We were owned and traded on the stock market. You are bringing up a different issue and trying to make that the same thing or an equivalent to slavery. Please pipe down, Karen. No, ma'am. We're not doing that. Hashtag pipe down, Karen. We all know that we are products. We all know that's why we have social security numbers. We all know that that's why we have the birth certificate. We all know that we are indentured servants in a certain way. That's not what we're talking about here. So please stop talking about Black issues to Black people when you ain't Black. Damn, I just quoted Joe Biden. Look at that. Sit down. Biden has never talked about helping seniors survive. He hasn't talked about helping seniors survive. He hasn't talked, but it's amazing at the State of the Union, he was saying some things that sounded real Trumpian. He talked about securing the border, because of the cartels. That famous Donald Trump clip. And again, I'm not caping for Trump. I present facts. And facts, whether you like them or not, are facts. When they chopped that clip up, what he was talking about specifically was the cartels. And he said they bring rapists, they bring murderers, they bring crime. They're not bringing their best over here, right? Yet and still, Look at the disaster at the border. Now all of a sudden Joe Biden want to talk about that, but he don't want to talk about the fact that he and Obama built those cages. He don't talk about that. Okay. Yeah. He also said that he don't want to defund the police. He wants to fund the police. Yeah. Okay. Listen, here's the thing. As a son, nephew, and brother of cops, I have absolutely no problem with funding police. But I think what needs to happen and what should happen is there are certain situations that police should not be called for by themselves. I think there needs to be a lot of police oversight, which there is little to none. I think that there needs to be a rule across every corner of this yet to be United States that says if you do not live in that neighborhood, you cannot police that neighborhood. You know what that does? That automatically forces more people in densely populated black areas to be in a situation where they can actually police themselves through the police department, because that's what should happen. But we also cannot divorce the fruit of the thing from the root of the thing, meaning that the police were created to be overseers and to make sure that landmass owning former slave owners could protect their property from the black people who would probably want to do a whole Nat Turner rebellion on the fact that they were enslaved and raped and taken from their families, split up, broken off, beaten down, beaten up, downtrodden, hurt, abused, assaulted, psychologically damaged. See, that's what we're dealing with here. So the police, just like the American political system, is working exactly as it's supposed to. But you're not ready to have that conversation either. Vicky says we need our own stuff: presidential candidates, hospitals, banks, businesses, schools. I heard on YouTube that DeSantis says if he's elected, he give $100 billion to the elite off the top. I'm angry that my daughter's student loans are still not paid, so we have to organize and trust each other. Did you send? What are your daughters doing? What did you send your daughters to school for? That becomes the question, right? Because you could have easily, and I'm gonna solve this problem real quick for folks who are upset about the student loan situation. And trust me, I'm upset about it too, but I'm also a little bit more proactive than the average bear. How about for those of you, and I know for many of you it's too late, but for those of you who have children, why not get a Gerber Grow Up plan? Why not get a Roth IRA? Why not get things that you can put aside, like investments? You know, no one's stopping you from getting a, God forbid, a Robinhood account, right? Where you could actually put money up so that when they become 18, you don't have to send them off to a college and hope that they become a part of the 27% as instead of the most likely 73% of people who do not work in the thing that they majored in. Just like according to the 2010 census, the majority of people who have masters in business administration put down bartender as their primary occupation. So that's that. The other part of that is we don't need another presidential candidate. We tried that because they put one up. And if you know anything about the history of this country, presidents are not elected, presidents are selected. So that doesn't work. Here's the gag. With the exception of my mother, because it was a bit of an emergency, every last one of my aunts and uncles was born in a black hospital with black doctors and black nurses and received excellent black medical care, right? We had neighborhood where we had black banks and black businesses and black schools, but we don't want to support those things because we wanted to sing "We Shall Overcome." We ain't gonna let nobody turn us around, and oh, it ain't gonna be long now. And as a result, because we wanted to sit at white lunch counters, if we wanted to be around white people, we wanted to desegregate. We have you can't. Howard University Hospital, is that about it? We're the black-owned hospitals. The black-owned banks are few and far between, and they're struggling. But you got a bunch of celebrities talking about starting a Freedmen's Bank for people of color. Okay, then right. The black businesses, y'all give a side eye to, and then you don't realize that most black businesses, especially those in the retail space, do not have access to a proper supply chain. Katie on Instagram says, you haven't been live in a minute. They shut down my other Instagram, so I'm on this one. We don't have access to a black supply chain. And so what winds up happening is we're at the mercy of other people, which means that we don't have the luxury of volume discount or volume warehouse pricing. And because of that, we have to usually shoestring things, make things a little bit more expensive in order to remain competitive, aka in order to remain open. But you don't want to have that conversation either. Oh my gosh, she's still going. They create division between people with different skin tones because if we united, we would no longer have power over any of us. Time to put our petty differences aside and work together. You have more in common with the average white man than you do with Obama. Absolutely not disputing that. And if you actually took 5 minutes to Google me, you would understand that I work with absolutely everybody. That is not the issue here. But I was speaking to Black people because Black people have a certain cultural frame of reference and Black people have a certain specific set of problems that you will not understand, Susan, Karen. And because of that, you're telling me things that I already know. But if you absolutely know what I know, you would understand where I was coming from. I work with everybody. I don't give a fuck if you're a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. Sure looks scary to me. If you have business to do, I will do it. I am not typical. I do business with people I do not like all of the time. But because you are ignorant to me, and because you do not know who I am and what I have accomplished and what I am currently accomplishing, you are running your mouth about things you do not understand, and you are way out of your depth, Karen. So please get yourself off of my live. Go do a Google search. Find out who I am, what I've done, why I do it, who I work with before you start telling me about unity. But before we can have unity, I got to clean up my own house first because I spent 400 years cleaning yours. Okay? Pipe down, Karen. Again, hashtag pipe down Karen is trending right now. Yeah, he's a complete joke. Joe Biden is a complete joke, right? Christian says, real talk. Reparation now, absolutely. Where's the clean water in Flint? Last clean water I saw in Flint, they gave to Barack Obama and put it in the glass, and he did it not once but twice that day because he's a performative politician. And y'all like performances. Y'all like performances more than you like facts. As a result, you continue to get that. The people of Flint should have burned down, and I'm speaking figuratively, tongue in cheek. I am speaking from a dramatic effect manner, should have tore down all of Michigan until they got what they needed because they sat up there and purposely tried to kill those babies. That governor would not have been able to sleep. But those same gangsters in Flint have no problem popping a single mom who was just coming home from the A&W with some cronies for her family. Conversation for another day. Y'all don't want to have these conversations. Y'all not ready for these conversations because these conversations look like accountability. Right? Y'all let people slide on the dumbest stuff. Return Eagle says, we're the only people that call each other Uncle Toms if we don't agree with each other. That has to stop. They throw the race card at us all the time. We're falling for it all the time. Please wake my people. Here's the thing, right? First of all, calling somebody an Uncle Tom doesn't make sense because if Negroes actually read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom was here for Black people. It was Sambo you had to watch out for, right? And my whole thing is I'm willing to work with whomever is willing to work with me. That is the bottom line. But make no mistake, I am not Black people only. I am Black people first. I am putting my family first, right? Because my family is extremely important. And that's what people don't get. And before you tell me that's divisive, nobody says it's divisive when Italians do it. Nobody says it's divisive when Koreans do it. Nobody says it's divisive when Vietnamese people do it. No, nobody says it's divisive when the Jewish people do that. When I say that, I'm talking about group economics and making sure that they take care of each other first. I'll give you an example. I had a lawyer one time because I had a lawsuit against a company that cost me some nerve damage in the left side of my body. And his name was Mike Lerner. Right. And he was the only reason I chose him because he was the only lawyer that would take my case. Now, Mike Lerner was like, listen, I saw your medical reports. You're going to need a lot of physical therapy. I know a great specialist you should talk to. And he picked up the phone. He says, hey, Richie, it's Mike. I'm sending a client over to you. Your name is Dave Anderson. I need you to take very, very good care of him. Right. And Richie Rabinowitz was his name, Dr. Richie Rabinowitz, rehabbed me. And he said, I know they told you you'd never walk without a cane. I'm going to have you walking without a cane in 6 months. And 6 months later, I was dancing. I still have nerve damage because that's not going to go away. But 6 months later, I was dancing, right? No cane. I was 21 years old and I was so happy I did not have to walk with a cane. Here's the moral of the story. Mike Lerner and Richie Rabinowitz grew up together. They went to the same synagogue. Their parents ate you know, every week together after they went to temple. You understand? So they look out for each other. When we do it, it's, oh, we're being divisive and all that dumb Karen talking points that Susan was talking about. If you don't stop, support each other and keep our money out of the banks, absolutely. But you have to have strategy for that. And a lot of people are not ready for that strategy, right? So we had a conversation. Our government beat Haitian refugees and sent them back to Haiti. Yeah, hey, shout out to Bill Clinton for that. Very few, they flew Afghanistans to the U.S., put them in free, nice houses so they can go shop and get the goods for free. I saw it on the local news. Yeah, that's because it's a fact. Shout out to Ice Cube, absolutely. We don't want to have these conversations, right? I have a business helping seniors, and it's hard to keep afloat. I totally agree with you. Absolutely, right? Like, there's so many things I feel like we need to have. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. If you have not read Powernomics, you're tripping. You all need to read Powernomics, because y'all be talking about, well, what's the plan? Haven't we asked them? What do we do? Dr. Claude Anderson has been giving you the plan since the Carter administration, but you didn't want to listen to that because a lot of y'all don't like to listen to your elders because you don't think they know a damn thing. No, no, no. I listen to Dr. Claude Anderson, and yes, for the record, no relation. Not that I know of. I haven't run a DNA test. Destroying jobs that people in those communities live. Here's the thing, right? If we were able to create our own jobs in our own communities, right? My whole thing is, if you want to go riot where they are. That part I do agree with. But the narrative of, well, you're destroying your own neighborhoods. No, we're not. We're destroying the things in our neighborhoods that continue to profit off of all of us. Listen, with the amount of resources I have, can't buy an inch of land in Chinatown in Philadelphia or in New York or in San Francisco or in LA. You want to know why? Because the Chinese Americans won't allow that. You want to know why? It's called group economics, but when black people do it, we're being divisive. I need y'all to sit down. So, oh no, you know, you're going to get the boot and the shine around here. You're going to get this work. Someone says, I believe Joe Biden is a clone or a CGI. The White House hasn't occupied for 6+ months. We are all being played America right now. I don't know. I can't even speak to that. But I'm sick of the nonsense. Christian said, pipe down, Karen. Yes, indeed. I hate you too. I'm still glad to see you're raining uncomfortable facts on the masses. Listen, bro. For those of you who don't know, I worked with George Hobbs when I was at Clear Channel before I helped rename the company iHeart. But this conversation for a whole nother day, and I'll never get credit for it. And he's one of my dearest friends. I absolutely love him. But he knows, like, I will give people uncomfortable facts whether they liked it or not. You know, so that's that. How does anybody alive today owe black folks anything they might need a time machine? Mike Navarro, again, I'm gonna need you to pipe down too, homeboy. Because here's what you're missing. There are intrinsic benefits from the fact that America became a superpower over 400 years of free African labor. It's not about who does what. It's about the fact that there is a disparity. And when you have a financial disparity, you can't sit around talking about equality. Pipe down, Navarro. Biden's doubling down on the 96 crime bill. I'm not familiar with the 96 crime bill. I am familiar with the 94 crime bill that Joe Biden wrote and Bill Clinton signed into law, but we keep dumping it just on Bill Clinton. I think you bring all of these criminals to justice. There is a reason that 1 out of 3 straight black men in this country will be serving prison time before they die. And that reason is Joseph R. Biden of Delaware. We're not ready for that conversation. There is a reason that Joe Biden said that he wants to criminalize and put people in jail for years and years and years for crack, right? And make sure that we lock them up. But now he wants to create safe spaces for people to have to shoot up and authorize crack pipes through different organizations. The government can't do it directly, but we'll give this 30 million to organizations that can do that, and some of them will be giving out crack pipes. So that's the gag. So let's not do that. All right. Pandemic provided plenty of state funds that were allocated to police. Alabama built 3 new prisons from this fund. Absolutely, because they're about to lock a whole bunch of folks up. Let's see what else here. It's a socioeconomic issue, and people need to ask why so many advances in science and technology there are, why there are more sick people in need for more doctors. Check out toxic mold or water damaged buildings that's making many sick and killing others. No joke. The government are the biggest landlords in the nation, and look at NYCHA housing. Absolutely. Toxic mold is often misdiagnosed as COPD and asthma. I lost my family to aspergillosis from Asperger's, and I care about people, period. Go. Great point. Let's talk about Howard University and how there's been black mold in Howard University, at least for the past 5 years, that I can speak of personally as a person who is paying for a child to go to school at Howard University, who pulled his child, because I have the means to pull my child out of her dorm and into a private apartment because of that. That's why those kids were out there in tents. The thing of it is, you're not going to get cured for people who don't respect you. And the reason they don't respect you is because they know you will never rise up. Even Jefferson talked about the importance of cleansing the government with the blood of the tyrannical. Sure, I ready for that conversation either. Engineering, international business, and sustainability. That is not the only way, but it is an extremely crucial part of it. If you have to live in a community to police it, some neighborhoods would have no cops. Everyone's pushing the narrative to hate cops. I don't hate cops, ding dong. Calm down, Kylie. Again, my father, cop, brother, cop, aunt, uncle, state troopers. I come from a long line of law enforcement. I don't hate cops. But what I'm saying is, you're going to be hard pressed to pull that trigger on somebody in your neighborhood if everybody knows where you live. It's called accountability in policing, but you don't get that. So again, hashtag pipe down Karen, and new hashtag pipe down Kylie. Exactly, the white ISIS quota mentality. We keep trying to manipulate politics without an economic base and specified agenda. We are perpetually failing. There have been specified agendas. If you go to bullypack.com, or is it bullypack? Yes, bullypack.com. I put up an agenda 2 years ago. Tariq Nasheed put up an agenda 2 years ago. Ice Cube put out an agenda 2 years ago. There are plenty of agendas. Dr. Claude Anderson has been putting out agendas for years, right? Dr. Cornel West has put out agendas. There have been plenty of agendas. It's just that the thing of it is, black folks want to spend money on Gucci and dumb shit. Sorry. Let's try that again. I'm talking about trending right now. Hashtag pipe down Karen. Matter of fact, pipe down Karen shirts coming next week. NAACP and Chucks and Pearls have been conspicuously quiet. You know who else has been conspicuously quiet? All those Biden voters. Because in that State of the Union, and I watched the entire thing, so y'all can't say, well, did you watch? I watched it all. And I was alert and attentive. I didn't see him mention anything about student loan debt. Is there a reason that Jim Crow Joe Biden didn't mention student loan debt? Is there a reason he didn't do that? Wow. Could there be an actual reason? I just wonder. Maybe we should go over to the Googles. Go over to the Googles. We're going to go over to the Google and see what we can find. Let's see what we got here. Why Joe Biden hasn't forgiven all your student loan debt? Short answer, he never promised to, right? I'm not going to read the whole article, but we're going to get to some good points here, right? Now that we're into a year of his presidency, debt forgiveness has still been absent from the pandemic relief bill passed in March 2021 and more recent legislative plans by the administration. Many are wondering whether borrowers will see widespread student loan cancellation under the current administration at all. Here's a look at what Biden said he wanted to do and what he has accomplished so far in providing student loan relief. What Biden promised to do around student loan forgiveness. Now watch this. Progressive Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren and AOC and Ayanna Pressley, proposed a few ideas for helping student loan borrowers, some of which Biden publicly backed while he was running for president, but never signed on to the more expansive calls for some progressive to eliminate all student loan debt or wipe out at least $50,000 per borrower. Instead, he's repeatedly said he's open to canceling up to $10,000 in student loan debt per borrower. Quote, we should forgive a minimum of student personal federal loan debt from Senator Warren and colleagues, he tweeted March 2020. Young people and student debt holders bore the brunt of the last crisis. It shouldn't happen again. Well, that's funny. Weren't you the same person that bailed out the banks and bailed out the car industry and had no problem bailing out the banks, even though they gave predatory mortgages with variable interest rates to the American people that you say that you love to serve so much? Get out of here, Joe Biden. The other option for widespread student loan forgiveness is doing through an executive order. That's not a route that Biden has expressed much interest in pursuing or confidence that he has the legal authority to do so. And he absolutely does have the legal authority to do so because he sat there and wrote 17 executive orders on his first day in office, more than any other president. on Inauguration Day, right? So there's all those things. So the Biden administration, in all fairness, has canceled roughly $13 billion of student loans for over 600,000 borrowers. That's more than any other president has done. Here's the breakdown: $7 billion of forgiveness for borrowers with a total and permanent disability. That's real specific. $2.4 billion discharged so far through improvements of student loan forgiveness program. That number will increase more as more borrowers qualify under new relaxed program rules. 1.5 billion to those who were defrauded by their misled by their institutions through the borrower defense to repayment program. That number should be so much higher, because if 73% of people are not getting a job in the thing that they majored in, I feel like that is defrauding. Hold on one second. I don't know why I had to knock this down. My bad, y'all. Let's see here. 1.26 billion in discharges specifically to students who attended ITT Technical Institute. Boy, ICDC College, you up next. Somebody get Lil Romeo on the phone, right? Free Community College didn't make it into the now stalled Build Back Better plan, but we're not ready to have that conversation. And a partridge in a pear tree. That's y'all boy. That's y'all boy. Y'all love him. Pearls and Chuck's been real quiet when it comes to that. Y'all like performances more than you like facts. It's the truth. Like, and every time I try to break this down, y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all be trying to break it down to these hoteps and these uneducated, folks that want to act like they know what they're talking about. Like, I'm gonna shut you down all day, every day. And if you want it, I got it. Now I see why Delaware has prisons, no county jails. But do you also peep the fact that most corporations are started in Delaware because it's tax-free? Hey, that's Joe Biden too. Y'all don't want to have that conversation either. Yeah, but I'm the only person here, Kylie. Kylie talking about, I didn't say you pushing cop hate. Good, because I'm not. So why are you talking about cop hate when nobody on here was talking about hating cops? Because otherwise, if you weren't talking to me, then who were you talking to? Because nobody, not even anybody in my feed, is talking about they hate cops. So again, look up, it's trending again. Hashtag pipe down, Karen. I need y'all to stop. Like, stop justifying when somebody calls you out on your bullshit and your straw man arguments to try and make them fly. Pipe down. Rwanda, I appreciate the support. Facts. Biden wrote a bill to put black people in prison for drug addiction. Meanwhile, his son was doing enough drugs to put Bobby Brown and Rick James to sleep, never spent a second behind bars. Absolutely. And won't. And won't. And that's the problem. Gucci ain't doing nothing for the kids in the hood, in the urban communities. Please stop using the word urban. Do you even know where the word urban came from? Urban was a term used by salespeople in radio because people were not, clients and advertisers were not buying black radio. So what they did was they changed the terminology and called it urban. This is what all the kids are listening to. Here are the stats. You got to put your money here. It's urban. And then when everybody started using urban as a colloquialism for black, because people don't like to say black, because when you say black, you automatically say less than in your mind subconsciously. They got off of that. And so that's the problem. So we take this urban thing to mean what more than what it actually is, and what we use it is a euphemism for black, when the term urban in and of itself was just so they could sell more radio advertisements. But yet a conversation we're not ready for, right? Gucci is not doing anything for the kids in densely populated black areas, because people in densely populated black areas will buy and not hold Gucci accountable, because all they had to do was give Dapper Dan a job, and y'all started, oh Lord, oh Lord, we's done made it. Ooh, Dapper Jen. Oh, look, the coon light is on. Oh Lord, Dapper Dan done made it. Oh Lord, this is a great day. That's you. We're not doing that. Pipe down, Kylie. All right, Smith said I watched the State of the Union too. Great, good for you. Maybe I missed who we should have voted for. How about you vote for yourself? How about you vote for black-owned businesses? How about you vote for starting nonprofit so that you can eliminate student loan debt after you sit on the board of that nonprofit for certain points? Y'all keep looking for a political solution when you don't have any finances in the game because you spend your money on bullshit. How about you vote for your goddamn self? Stop looking for a fucking savior. You look for one in white Jesus. You look for one in Joe Biden. You look for one in Barack Obama. You look for one in Bill Clinton. You look for one in Jimmy Carter. You look for one in LBJ. You look for one in JFK. You look for one in RFK. You continue to look for people to vote for to take the accountability off of you. And that is black people's problem. Who should we vote for then? Because it's the lesser of two evils. Pipe down, ding dong. Hashtag pipe down, ding dong. Midterm is coming in and the deception is in effect. Watch these controlled minds refuse to self-educate and all in their feelings succumb to the lies. If Biden tells y'all to jump off a cliff and he would catch you, y'all would believe. God help us. Like Wile E. Coyote chasing the roadrunner off of a cliff into the middle of the sky while the roadrunner stands there, goes meep meep and continues to run while Wile E. Coyote falls flat on his face in a puff of desert dust. But again, we're not ready for that conversation either. The other part of that is it's amazing how on Monday Joe Biden was wearing a mask, and then on Tuesday, well, you know, we're coming up on levels, and we can we can lift the mask mandates, and they can be optional. This, that, and third. Like, I am so disgusted with how the situation is being handled, and as somebody who has had COVID. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly believe COVID is real because I've had it. And when I tell you, I have never, and I'm not one for dramatics, I have never been more scared in my life. Kylie, finally, we're on the same page. Okay, Kylie trying to be an ally after she got read. I love it. Kylie says the crime bill he helped make is still there and it's still in effect. You want to know why? Because it paved the way for big prison. Because beforehand, the government used to control prisons. Before the crime bill, the government used to control prisons and they realized, hey, we can privatize these prisons. So we privatize these prisons. Then we can make sure we keep them filled. So let's criminalize people who are downtrodden, depressed, poor with the drugs that we gave them. Because last I checked, I still ain't seen no black people with private planes other than Rick Ross and Drake. Meaning I ain't never seen no I've never seen Silky Johnson in the hood slinging crack rock and then going to a Cessna, right? Also, Robert Byrd, card-carrying Klansman, he was the highest-ranking Klansman of his division, and he was a hero to Joe Biden the same way that Margaret Sanger is a hero to Hillary Clinton, and that Hillary Clinton was also a Goldwater girl, and y'all can look that up on your own time. But yeah, Joe Biden has always been, aligned with card-carrying, bigoted white racists, right? Should we continue to be played by Trump? How did Trump play us? How did Trump play us? Because Trump said that he wanted to fix the VA and the government lost their minds. Because you do realize that the majority of the folks who go into the military are poor to begin with. And then they go to countries that they would never ever see to fight for things they never ever understand. And they come back here with everything from Agent Orange to PTSD. And the Veterans Administration has neither the proclivity or the financial ability to help them effectively. Right? Do you realize that there is a higher suicide rate amongst former veterans than almost any other group in this country? Yeah, so that part. Also, he guaranteed that there would be funding for HBCU so that they didn't have to keep coming up and asking for it. And Joe Biden took care of that like day 5 and said, no, we're not going to do that. So, yeah, no, not to mention, I don't care who's in office, I'm going to make money. You want to know why? Because I understand business. And when you understand business, you don't depend on who's in office. So that's that. So miss me with the bullshit. Blacks don't have anyone to vote for. No, black people should vote for black people. And I'm not talking politically. Vote for black people with the one thing you still have, your wallet, $1.6 trillion in spending power. Now, some of that should be going to your bills, and sometimes it doesn't, statistically speaking. But no, you vote for yourself. You vote for building up your communities. You go and you buy up shit and you gentrify it for your own people. And then you hire the Nation of Islam. You hire private black security forces to police that neighborhood like a neighborhood watch. And you follow all the paperwork and do exactly what you need to do. You create community organizations. But here's the thing. I go to school board meetings in Philly. I don't never see y'all there. Right? And there are plenty of people you should be voting for. You should be voting for your city councilman. And not and when I say councilman, I'm talking about a general term, right? Or your city council person, okay? You should be voting for them, and you should be backing their campaigns financially so that you can get what you want done on a local level, but you're not ready to have that conversation either, because that conversation requires reason, finance, and oh, wait for it, accountability. And we know how much y'all don't like accountability. Hey, Miss Sean Williams, good to see you. Right? Let's see here. I've been stopped voting and always get into an argument about my mom's about it because your mother has been bought into that indoctrination her whole life, and she was old enough to birth you, so she ain't changing. You feel me? Tom Dick said, "This guy is no joke. I am no joke. We're here." They're following the science. There is no such thing as the science. There is science, and science is always being questioned and always evolving. And that narrative is crazy. And by the way, laying down your alms at the altar of Dr. Fauci, where Dr. Fauci jacked up so many people who had HIV and AIDS with that damn AZT, that I don't understand how that man is not already under a private or public prison to this day behind that AZT thing. Oh, wait, he was doing it on behalf of the government. Y'all can Google that later because we're not ready for that conversation either. You don't know what others do, but this is you platform. You pipe down, chatty chat. It's actually your platform. And no, I don't know what you do, but I do know that you're still talking about depending on politics in order to get things done. So that tells me a lot of what I need to know. But in all fairness, I don't have to pipe down because, like your ding dong ass said, this is you platform. I guess you meant your, which is my platform. So you can get the fuck out. Hashtag pipe down, ding dong. It's hard to take a guy seriously wearing a cap sideways and blue rimmed glasses. He's the opposite of a guy wearing a MAGA hat and a Confederate flag on a t-shirt. See, Robert, that would be cool. But this is a limited edition Wu-Tang flag. And if you knew anything about Wu-Tang, you would understand that I helped the Wu-Tang clan start something called the Feast of the 12 Jewels. And the reason it's called the Feast of the 12 Jewels is the 12th letter of the alphabet is L for love. I'm wearing blue rimmed glasses because blue is my favorite glasses. And bitch, by the way, they're Armani. So when you cannot attack my intelligence, you try to attack my clothing, but I have 2 homes, 2 phones, and 17 businesses. Sit your bitch ass down with your wolf dog who you probably can't control, but you probably cuddle with at night. Have several seats. Black codes, yet another thing. So like y'all can miss me with that. And all y'all keep talking about Trump did this and Trump did that. Y'all voted for Biden without even understanding what his agenda was. I read you the Build Back Better plan on this show in entirety. So yeah, y'all missed me with that. Exactly. Right. Man, I'm at work. I really want to hear your opinion on this. Oh, don't worry, the replay is everywhere. You can make sure you subscribe. I want to hear your opinion on this. Please listen to that playback, Mike. I appreciate you. Trump did not hide who he was. Biden was manipulative. Biden is manipulative. And the only reason Barack Obama got in office was because Biden was such a racist, allegedly. And he was such a he's what's called a Reagan Democrat. He's a blue dog Democrat, right? He's so conservative that he balances out what they appear to be the image of a liberal. But y'all not ready for that conversation either because y'all don't know how politics actually works. We'd have somebody to vote for if we stood by our values and our demands. We make demands in the off season and then start during election year, we start accepting lies and excuses. They don't respect us because we barely respect ourselves. These are facts because all they have to do is do the nay-nay. And y'all love it. You got damn Roland Martin in one of his legendary rayon robes dancing with Hillary Clinton. Talking about, oh, that was levity. Sit down, Roland. About as light as your hairline. What up, Hannah, honey? What's going on? We have so many samples around people chasing their own tails. Facts. Today's my first ever hearing you. You are deep in a good way. Vicky, I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Okay, so this guy said, Trump played you list. 1, the wall. Why? Because Joe Biden also sanctioned 170 miles of wall. Try again. 2, HBCU money. He signed it in. Biden took it out. 3, tax cuts for the middle class. He actually did so much that 3 things happened. Number 1, black businesses started to grow under Trump. Black economics improved greatly over Trump, right? And then on top of that, the tax cuts for businesses allow businesses to create a job surplus for individuals. but there are, let's keep people home. And then say that I made more jobs, which is what Joe Biden did. Use the VA fundraiser money and so much more. Yeah, I know he did everything he possibly could for the VA and was fought every single step. But what do I know? I'm just the son and cousin of veterans, and I employ veterans, but continue to go off about things you clearly do not understand. Ivan, I'm doing my best, homie. Hashtag pipe down, ding dong. Continue to have these conversations. But y'all continue to look for Joe Biden to save you, and Joe Biden ain't done nothing for black people, done everything for everybody. Thanked black people, and then went on and helped everybody else. It continues to. Listen, David, keep smashing the ass. I ain't got no choice, Adrian. Somebody gotta do it. George says, your tires fly, sir, but you still ain't shit. Respectfully. Hate, 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 hate. George Hobbs, you look like a black Clark Kent from Earth 3. Right? No one respects you. You look like Calvin Ellis. You're Cal L. We get it. You're fly. How's the babies? Hope all is good. Trump told us he was a white nationalist. Bob Joe Biden eulogized white nationalists and sat up there and was a mentee of Strom Thurmond, a card-carrying white nationalist. He eulogized Bob Byrd, who was a white nationalist. Trump told you that, and so therefore what? What does that mean? Why do you have to like somebody for the ideologies? I am a Baptist. My good friend Reza Islam is a part of the Nation of Islam. We work together all the time. I don't have to see your ideology to do business. When you continue to funnel your logic and your survival through your emotions and decide who you do business from an emotional standpoint, you continue to lose. Because I'll tell you right now, there's plenty of people who have plenty of businesses in a black neighborhood who are white nationalists and will take their money out of our neighborhoods and into theirs. You have no problem with that. You have no problem with Chinese people coming into black neighborhoods and taking their money to their Chinese neighborhoods. You have no problem with Korean Americans taking money out of the black community after doing your nails. I'm taking back to Korean neighborhoods, but you continue to tell me about how Trump was a white nationalist. I'm gonna let you in on a little spoiler alert. George Washington, who's on your dollar bills, which you have no problem in spending within 6 hours of the time you get your paycheck, was a white nationalist. He was a slave owner, and George Washington's teeth were not made of wood. They were made of the teeth of living slaves. But you're not ready for that conversation either. Please sit down. Pipe down with the rhetoric. Chris says, listen to this man. He speaks truth. Dr. Fauci been bought and paid for, and he'll continue to have a job. Biden will never meet with Ice Cube. By the way, if Obama married a white woman instead of Michelle, he wouldn't have got the black woman vote. No, he wouldn't have, and he also would not have gotten the presidency, because the last thing they want to see is whether I like him or not, a strong, virile, basketball playing black man with a white woman. And make him president, it ain't happening. Is this the part where I say black people lost ground under Obama? Absolutely, this is the part we say black people lost ground under Obama. But y'all not ready for that because y'all liked it so much. Oh, Lord. It's just like when I heard black women talking about, oh, well, Hillary Clinton has more experience than Barack Obama. You do not have experience as the president until you're the president. Because Joe Biden being president is a lot different than Joe Biden being vice president. Anybody will tell y'all that. Sure did start my own business under Trump. Yeah, because those tax cuts were lovely. The thing of it is, and this is what y'all don't understand about America being a corporation. Okay? The reason the middle class keeps getting fucked and poor people keep getting ignored is because you're a part of the system. You are job fillers. I'm a job creator, and I'm trying to get more of you to be job creators, but you want to tell me, well, not everybody can start a business, then you won't get the tax breaks. Sucks to be you. That's how it's always been. That's why Jeff Bezos pays $0. You want to know why? Because if Jeff Bezos brings an Amazon facility to a city, that city starts booming. It's literally like bringing the Olympics to a town, which is why so many people campaign for it the same way they campaign for having the Olympics brought to their city. But you don't want to have that conversation either, because that requires logic, finance, and accountability. 3 things that y'all don't like. I don't know what Kamala's doing. I don't see much of her. I saw her at the State of the Union. At least I think that was her. She had on a Tim Meadows ladies' man German chocolate suit. But I don't know what Kamala Harris is doing. But I didn't expect her to do anything in the first place. And for sisters who sit up here and say, "Oh, we wanted Kamala to be president, and that's as close as we could have got," wrong, because Kamala suspended her campaign because she did not have a lack of funds. She did not have enough funds to continue her campaign. But y'all don't want to have that conversation either. Trump was not the savior of black people. Trump was not the savior of black people, but Trump did more for black people than black people are willing to give Trump credit for, because they don't like Trump, even though they love Trump. They love Trump because nobody talks about the fact that Trump made sure that black people were getting construction worker jobs first in New York City. Trump was the one who sat up there and made it possible, and brought Jesse Jackson and all these other people in to make sure that he was getting those black folks unionized and doing what they needed to do in order to build things like Trump Tower and give them viable jobs at competitive wages. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to have a conversation that everybody was quoting and referring to Donald Trump in their rap songs. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to talk about how the Apprentice and the Celebrity Apprentice were the number one and number two shows in black households for a very long time, because that messes up your narrative that, oh my God, Trump is a racist. Okay, got it. It's not a skin color issue until we stop following the narrative that keeps us from coming together. Follow the money, not race or religion. Absolutely. But the thing that you need to understand, Chris, and I know you probably just got here, buddy, is that I have to talk to black people first because I'm black. And black people have a specific set of problems that black people need to deal with before we can start unifying with absolutely everybody else, because that's how black people got in this mess in the first place. We wanted integration before we had our stuff together. We wanted to sit at other people's lunch counters before we had our stuff together. We wanted to go to other people's schools where grown people were spitting on us and doing all this other stuff. Like, that's the thing. Right. And don't get me wrong, you should have the right to do that, but not at the detriment of black businesses, black hospitals, black banks, black butchers, the entire black infrastructure, which went belly up under quote unquote black civil rights, which y'all called the civil rights movement. And the reason it was called the civil rights movement as opposed to the black repair movement is because nobody likes to acknowledge the fact that black people get done wrong in this country. That's just a fact. But continue to tell me about, it's not just skin color, it's about finances. Yeah, I know that. No shit. I'm a finance guy. Trump proved to the world government, that to the world, that the government of this world are devils that God will. Okay. I ain't mad at Trump. He told us who he was and proved who he was. Biden is the one who just didn't say it. Congratulations, black people. You played yourself. DJ Khaled. Hilarious. He's out here fighting for her business. Absolutely. Everybody thought because Kamala Harris is a black vice president that things would be different. I don't have any proof that she's black. I do know for a fact that she's Indian. I do know for a fact that her father's Jamaican, but there are plenty of Jamaicans who are not black, but y'all not ready for that conversation either. And going to an HBCU does not make you black, because I know plenty of Asians who go to HBCUs. Matter of fact, I have a daughter at an HBCU, and when I was moving her out of her dorm, I saw so many Asians, and I said, "Why are all these Asians at Howard?" Not that I care, but I was just fascinated. And she said, "Oh, they get scholarships." I said, "Say what?" "Yeah, they get to come here for free." I said, "Say what?" But they couldn't put a door in your closet, and they can't fix this black mold in your dorm. Don't even get started what was happening with the Tubman Quad, but y'all not ready for that conversation either. While the president of Howard University walks around like he's a Billy D third place contestant in a Billy D. Williams lookalike contest for a Colt 45 commercial, getting chauffeured everywhere while students are living in squalor, but still paying $50,000 a year. Man, stop. Yeah, and guess what? I honestly think the LGBTQ should get all the rights they should get. But you know what they did? They had representation on both sides of the aisle, and they wrote the check. Two things black people aren't willing to do. Oz can't be a Republican. Oz can only be a Democrat, and you can continue to be at the mercy of Democrats who completely ignore you. The only power you have in this country is your ability to walk away from the table with your finances. Yeah, because she is Indian, and there's nothing wrong with being Indian. But stop pandering to black people to get votes. Stop going on black morning shows talking about all these things and all that kind of good stuff. Like, it's a mess. True, even though I hate him economically, we're still in a much better. Yeah, I still despise him. They're building an Amazon facility on Elmwood Avenue at the former GE plant, and that entire area is about to get a makeover because it's going to create jobs. It's going to stimulate the economy. You can't stimulate the economy working in a cubicle. But y'all not ready for that conversation either. We lost some ground under Obama because Obama's election was symbolic, because black people love symbolism. You love a show. Like when people ask me, why'd you get back in stand up? Because y'all don't hear me if I'm just talking regular. Because y'all don't want to have that conversation. All Obama had to do was sit up here, hope, change. What the fuck does that even mean? Hope? Bob Hope? Hope? The fuck you mean hope? Change? Isn't there? I'm still trying to figure out how since this pandemic started, there's been a coin shortage. Where did all the coins go? I'm confused, but we can continue to go. Knowledge is power. That's right. Black people are definitely afraid of these three words. We are enough. You ain't lying. Trump exonerated blacks from prisons that Biden wouldn't have ever. Absolutely. Because I know some of y'all was waiting on Barack to free Mumia. It wasn't happening. Black folks in Northeast region need to stop watching CNN and MSNBC. I think you watch everything. I think you watch everything, because when you do, you're able to see both sides of it. But then go watch the BBC. Then go out here and do some research. Like, all the answers are there. There's this thing called the Freedom of Information Act. Like, come on, man. Ooh, this is a good one. He says, you're not telling the entire story about Trump, but it's okay to keep licking Trump's butt. You should be a comedian because your jokes and name calling and inaccurate information. Tell me one fact I didn't back up. Oh, and by the way, I'm not licking Trump's butt. I don't need to. I'm already rich, bitch. That part. Agreed. Just want to help. You're doing great. Speaking of integration, ain't no way I'd have sent my 6-year-old black daughter to an all-white school alone. At all. Ruby Bridges, God bless that lady. She's still alive, by the way. Right? So, yeah. Yes, for real, Ed Howard. Yes, absolutely. Biden said he preferred the Latino community because they're more diverse. Black people said think they have to think alike. The man is saying that black people don't have a mind of their own, can't think for themselves. Wow, controlled mind is dangerous. The hate of a man trumps concedes common sense. Yeah, that's on tape, but y'all don't want to hear that either, because that's too much like accountability. Like, we could do this all day. Obama is a demon, not for the right side. I ain't gonna call a man a demon, but I would say he ain't do nothing good for black people. You can't go to school in Beijing for free. Facts. Dale Kiki said, I'm white and I completely agree with you. She is Aboriginal. Is she? Listen, Sean King is blacker than Kamala Harris. And we all know, I know for a fact Sean King ain't black. I offer to pay for a DNA test and give him $10,000 if he take it. OG Trump is welcome to the barbecue. There is no barbecue, black people. There's no barbecue. But you gotta stop that barbecue shit too. Yeah, she ain't Aboriginal. It showed people paying $6 a gallon. Kamala hasn't done anything. Trump did to help the black people. All they have to do is research what he wrote in the law, but everything he did, Biden got rid of it. I've seen so many videos of him insulting black people over his career. He's the biggest racist ever. When the dude said he didn't want his white son to be integrated into a racial jungle, that was your clue. That was your clue. Yep. Federal government need to get out of the school system. First of all, you need to get your kid out the government school system and school your kid themselves. Where do the coins go? Oh, she's Indian. Her mama's Indian, and that's all you ever see. And compare news from other countries if you actually want the truth. Jeff says, where are all the comments? And you can't see them. I don't know why you can't see them, Jeff. Obama's stepdad owned an oil company with George Bush. We ain't ready for that conversation either. I don't know how you can't see the comments, Jeff. It's very weird. I don't know where you're watching. If you go to facebook.com/the business bully, you should be able to see the comments. Some destinations won't get comments. Let's see. Facebook groups, Facebook profiles. Yeah, go to facebook.com/the business bully. Too many black people were emotional when it came to Trump. They ostracized any black person who met with Trump to discuss economic policy. Ironically, Latinos met with him. Yeah, Trump is a bigot. He's a businessman first. Ray Lewis said Trump was all business, and that's the game. I'm the business bully. I'm not the feelings bully. I do business with everybody. Anybody who has something that's going to allow me to make some money, that's exactly why I own an empanada company in Atlanta. Business. I don't make empanadas. Well, I do now. I remember when he said that some brainwashed folks can't see what it is and what's happening. Here's where Trump went wrong. Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk were not the best representation of black people. That's problematic. But you know, the one thing W did right was have Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell. Trump, Diamond and Silk, yeah, not so much. Kanye, love Kanye, think Kanye is a genius. Not the guy you want speaking for you. That part optically was just not the business, man. Yeah, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. That's what Master Joe said. That's what Master Joe said. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. I love this guy. See y'all at the barbecue. Where is the barbecue? Listen, I got a trigger. I'll be barbecuing all the time. I don't be seeing y'all. Oh yeah, I'm on YouTube too. Please subscribe. Please subscribe and share. See, as though they took my IG away. All I got is Business Bully TV IG. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids. How many clues did Dude need to drop for our people? We can overlook that because he's changed. See, whenever Master tells you he's changed, y'all believe it. But Trump couldn't change. Trump bought back Arsenio Hall. Y'all ain't thinking for that. Trump made Little John even bigger on a like in Middle America. People know who Little John is. Between Trump and Chappelle, like, come on, man. Instead of black people like Roland Martin whining about HBCU funding, why not push for reparations so we can fund those schools and no longer have to go to college on credit? Those facilities at PWIs are built with donor money, not financial aid refund checks. Those are facts. I know because I teach at a PWI. Those are all facts. I will always speak truth to power. Absolutely. Obama's not black either. Yeah, that's true. Obama is African American, and that's why I do not use the term African American. Barack Obama's African American. Elon Musk is African American. Charlize Theron is African American, but y'all ain't ready for that conversation either. There's a lot of conversations y'all ain't really ready for. Biden only elected Kamala because she is black. No, he elected Kamala because she gave the appearance of blackness and because black people said they would vote for him if he had a black vice president. Because you know it wasn't going to be Stacey Abrams. Biden talked about roaches and black people. Yes, he did. George Wallace was racist until he was shot in his back by his own people. Maybe Biden will wake up. Yeah, those were your words, not mine. Not doing that. Boom. Love you too. Biden, yep. Well, she gives the appearance of blackness. Yep. Oh, they're gonna put y'all back in chains. Who is they? Aren't you they? Who they is? Child, listen. Trump was in the Bobby Brown video in the 90s. That is a fact. Trump was in a lot of dope stuff. I know it's Jim Brown in the room when Kanye was meeting with Trump. I get Jim. I get it. Jim is up in age, but he would have been a better co-sign in Kanye. That's a real OG. Absolutely. Melanated. You are a man of God. Yes, I am. Truth. Jesse Jackson coined African American. He moved out of the way for a clear shot. Race war is money. Facts. Huge facts. So listen, folks. Y'all gotta stop. Yep. Left wing, right wing, same bird. And that's what I'm on. You know when Biden said, we already have an N-word mayor. We don't need any more N-words. Yep, I remember that. Some black people are haters. One told me she hated Trump and the things he did. I said King David too. I said, well, I hate Trump and I hate David too. The end for me. Wow. I love it. So listen, if you haven't, right? It doesn't matter if he was quoting somebody. It shouldn't come out his mouth. Trump pardoned Kodak Black, Lil Wayne. Biden wants to fund police. Hilarious. Funny how we never talk about the fact that Sandra Bland happened under Obama Biden, Mike Brown happened under Obama Biden, Trayvon Martin happened under Obama Biden. You know, a lot of those things happened under Obama Biden. Yep. So y'all are proving Trump right. And if Trump is so bad, then why did Joe Biden spend the entire State of the Union talking Trump talking points? Somebody break that down with me. I'm with you with Claude Anderson. Voice is shaky. in my summation, and I haven't met the man, but just watching him, he's shaky. 2 words: Charles Wu. When Charles Wu referred to him as a militant black character, talking about the black business school, problematic for me, right? When the fact that Boyce Watkins continues to put up, oh, what's my man's name? Jay something. What is that dude's name? The dude that, has been banned from the NFL. Oh, what's his name? Is it Jay Mars? I think that's his name. I can't keep up with those types of folks. Like, yeah, Boyce is a little shaky. And I've tried to meet with Boyce. Boyce don't want no parts of me. Claude Anderson, all day, every day. Boyce Watkins, certain things I just got to understand. And that's a conversation I would love to have with Boyce, but, this, that, and third. George Soros funds Antifa. Yeah. I'm not an Antifa fan. I'm not a Black Lives Matter fan, because Black Lives Matter says straight up and down, they only want to focus on trans people, this, that, and the third. And the only time they care about black people, for lack of a better term, is, when they're dead. So that's that. So listen, I just want to come on here, and by the way, is what BTW means. So, like, he just wants votes because he's running for president again, and the midterms are coming. Yeah, he's about to get his ass whooped, right? Like, the good thing about Biden is that he's making Trump right by doing the things that he said he was going to do. He called him Sleepy Joe, and dude is sleepy. Over 1 million illegal immigrants cross the border being flown to cities all over the U.S. Blacks are constantly killing each other at a genocidal rate every day. See, again, how many black gun manufacturers are there? Stop right there, right? And anybody, and this is like, because I'm so sick of this raccoon narrative about what about black on black crime. Let's address this, and I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Okay. Guns were brought in by the government, drugs were brought in by the government. You take out the resources, you take out the schools, you take out the arts, you take out the programs, and you leave black people to themselves. You leave any people to themselves. Read a book called Lord of the Flies. What happens when you put a bunch of children on a tropical island with very little resources? They start to kill each other. The end. Doesn't make it right, but it's different. If you put a black child or several black children in environments to thrive, and you give them something else to concentrate on, they thrive. If you give them bullshit, malt liquor, Kool-Aid, and fucking flaming hot Cheetos, and guns and coke, that's what you're going to get. So please, pipe down on that one, Nisi. Hashtag pipe down, Nisi. You black people, my uncle, 5th Ward, H-Town, the only married white aunt, daughter, Robert Bruce's people, Shaka Zulu, Woodward. Why only around them general people writing letters or minister at a penny? You black people, my uncle, 5th Ward, H-Town, the only one married, my white aunt, a daughter, Robert the Bruce, his people, Shaka Zulu, Woodward or Woodguard, the King Christ, that is history. White and black people in Judea Confederacy tribes called racist by the winner of his coat of arms has horns, minds, wings, a spur. Shout out Duncan, he a cousin of mine, so Spike Lee. Robert had a black wife, baby. These letters are fake. Why only them around general people always writing letters and minister at a penny? Oldest family in the world is mine. Last from genocide. I am host, honest man. Okay. Yeah, black on black crime out of black mouths is a coon talking point. Where was Black Lives Matter when all those innocent cops was dying? Where's Black Lives Matter when the Bloods and Crips are running rampant? Shout out to the Bloods and Crips. But like, Black Lives Matter only showed up to get money, and the head of Black Lives Matter, one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, went and bought a $90,000 house and then bought a vacation home in the tropics and then bounced out. $30 million in crack pipes. With all them dashes, you making pipe bombs and touching kids. Russ read that shit like trigger words from Winter Soldier. Bicycle 17. Captain America. Anyway, y'all, please do me a favor and make sure that you are. Let me take these comments down and let me put this banner up. I don't know how this banner didn't show. But yeah, please text me. That is the number, 888-830-0314. Hit that bully on the low, because this bully about to go. 888-830-0314. Please text me. That's how you will get me. We don't know what's going to happen with Instagram. That's that. I didn't know that Elon Musk was African Americans. I got to look it up. He is a South African nationalist who is also an American citizen, which makes him African American. Same thing for Charlize Theron, African American. That's why I'm black. This is the whole thing. So yeah. Thank you, Charles. I don't understand how this is hard for people, but apparently the math ain't mathing for y'all because y'all don't. It's so easy to corrupt, control, manipulate, and dominate a people that does not do its own research, does not have its own resources, cannot hunt, cannot fish, cannot kill, cannot bank, cannot have an economic power base, does not practice group economics, and does not control their own neighborhoods. But again, that's that. What? What is black these days? I'm black. You're looking at it. I know what black is. Black is black. What the hell you mean? Since baby's like when you old American native cattle Apache Ethiopian Jewish tribe, few women married and they hate me. Biden, he hates all black people. All black people have to type like this. Oh, okay. All right. Right? Systemic white supremacy with economic sanctions. Absolutely. If you start withdrawing your support, that's that. I don't understand the cultural frame of reference of a person of hue, but go off, sis. That's your right. That's America. But again, please text me. Text me right now. Right? Bucky Barnes has entered the chat. Russ, chill. But I need that support. I need that support all day, every day. Please follow me at the Instagram Business Bully TV. I hope that you got something out of this. I'm praying that you share this so that we can get out of here. Not economic sanction, economic divorce. And on that note, I'm out of here. I want you guys to have a phenomenal day. Do what you do. Till next time, get out of your feelings and into your business. Peace.